And we're back here once again with another episode of the Iron Man podcast, episode 568. In this episode, we're going to be doing a Borderlands open spoiler discussion because
spoiler alert, it sucked. Good night, everybody.
I think we're the only two people that ended up watching this movie, I think, on this planet.
So I think you were in the group chat when I sent you guys the photo when I went to watch this movie last week. It was 5:30 on a Thursday. It's supposed to be, when everyone's trickling in, so you want to get in before work the next day. There wasn't a single person in the entire theater. I took every time I walk into an empty theater, I always take a picture because it's funny to me. By the time the movie started, there was one elderly black lady who went in and sat in row 4. We were the only two people in the entire movie theater the whole runtime.
That happened to me. I went on Saturday. I told you guys I can't really go on certain days. I went on Saturday, 9:30, which is basically, best time to watch movies on the weekend. Nobody in there. I was in theater 2, big room, reclining chairs, nothing. No one's there. Happened 2 weeks in a row. Last week with M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie, and then this one. And this proves automatically that the freaking movie star thing doesn't work anymore. Because later on when we get into the review, there's no way movie stars have this level of traction anymore. It's just not it. It's over at this point. If you having this much big talent on paper on a movie and then this can't draw in a crowd, I don't even know what can draw in a crowd anymore.
I mean, here's the thing. Is it really big talent, though? Because it's you have notable names here, but it's is anyone you would consider to be a box office draw? Let's be quiet. The biggest name in this entire cast line is probably Kevin Hart, and his movies are being released on Netflix. So it's who's really the big box office name out of everyone in this group? It's not Jamie Lee Curtis at 84 years old. It's not Kate Blanchett at 60 years old. Who's the box office draw here?
You got, who did you have? You have Kevin Hart because he's black. Remember? DEI. They have to push him.
Yeah. Apparently now DEI includes short people too and midgets because, he's at least a solid foot shorter than the character that he's actually playing in the thing. And that'll be something that we'll get into here too as well. So,
and before we get into it, I just want to let people know, I have already did the video on Borderlands' box office performance over between the Thursday night previews to the Monday totals when they totaled the box office weekends. Terrible. The movie has only taken in, at the time of us doing this episode of the Iron Man podcast, $10 million. Okay, $10 million. Took in $8 million domestically and $1 million internationally. Absolute 100% flop. The movie's production budget is between $110 million and $120 million. And the marketing costs, they put out the marketing cost number because people kind of guess with it for the most part. The marketing for this movie is $30 million. That means for the movie to break even, it would need 368 before marketing to break even. It would need an additional $200 million to rake in profit. Not counting that marketing that is also added there too. It's done. It's over. It's completely over. Because people gotta understand.
Not only that, on top of all that, now the word of mouth has gotten out about this film that it's a giant heaping pile of crap. So that there's no motivation to even go out there and watch this film now. So this is absolutely dead on arrival.
Yep. And you know what's happened, guys? This is just week 1. Remember that week 2 drop that most big blockbuster tentpoles have? This movie might actually have the biggest drop off in film history in week 2.
It hasn't even been 5 days.
This is bad. This is pretty bad. This is awful.
Yeah, this is what I like to call an oof out of 10.
God. Because the biggest superhero box office drop was Morbius or the Marvels, which was 71, 74%. This movie might actually drop off, guys, to 88%. People, no one watched this week 1. So
that's
who's going to watch it week 2?
That's what at least those movies had a big front end where everyone saw it the first couple of days, then everyone went away from it. No one even saw this movie, and it still has the same drop off. So
this is bad. This is really bad. Lionsgate is a company where they'll finance movies for franchises like this, the ones that are kind of popular, but the other studios won't touch them. If Lionsgate really wants to take popular franchises like this and make movies out of them, you just have to make them good. It's kind of no ifs, ands, ors, or buts. especially if you're dumping in $110 million into them.
So there's a couple of things here. One is that fundamentally, this is a film that's been in developmental hell for at least 14 years. I believe it was
2014, 2015. Yeah.
No, it was even longer than that.
Really?
Because
Okay.
The plans for this movie came shortly after they released the first game, which I believe was 2009. So when the first game released, that's when Hollywood put this plan together. Then they started to get like directors and writers together somewhere between 2015, 2018. And basically, director and writers just kept leaving the project over and over again to the point where they had to settle on Eli. What's his name? Eli Roth. Is that the guy who did this movie?
Yeah, Eli Roth.
Yeah.
He did the Thanksgiving. That's crazy. The movie that he did last year, Thanksgiving, outperformed this movie in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad. So usually when those type of movies are like in developmental hell for like a decade and a half to 2 decades, the end result is never good. Like the end result just proves that this is something that we really didn't need to see. This is why I talk about people who are all on this. Oh, Channing Tatum needs to be Gambit kick. It's like, guys, we've been trying to make this film work for over 10 years. You're not going to want to see the final results of this in a full length film. This is just not going to happen. And so then on top of that, like I said, there was only like 2 people in the theater every showing beforehand. Now it's going to be like no people in the theater. So it's one of my favorite jokes, and it's from an awful movie, but it's from Vanilla Ice in one of the Alice Sandler movies. Yeah. He's talking about Ice Ice Baby, and he mentions that, every time they play that song, I owe Queen half, and then Suge Knight takes 60%. I owe money every time they play that song. It's literally what like the theaters are like, I owe money every time I play this movie because no one's going to see this.
Also, guys, you know what's even worse about this movie? So on top of everything we mentioned, even before we even review the movie, there's even more. This movie got put out in a month where Deadpool Wolverine dropped, Despicable Me 4, that Magic Crayon movie. I didn't watch it yet, but you have the Zachary Levy Magic Crayon movie or whatever. Then Alien Romulus is also dropping this week. Alien Romulus drops this week. Blake Lively's newest movie dropped. Blake Lively, who hasn't been in a big blockbuster tentpole since like The Shallows back in like 2017, 2018. Her movie took in $50 million opening weekend. Her movie outperformed Borderlands in like just 2 days between Friday and Saturday. Guys, Blake Lively hasn't been in a movie for like a big one because she's been taking care of kids forever. This woman took basically like 4 years off being in movies, and she just outperformed Borderlands. That's crazy. That's actually insane. And then guess what also comes out? Channing Tatum's newest movie comes out at the end of the month. This movie's done. There's no way. It's over. If you have Despicable Me 4, Deadpool Wolverine, and Alien Romulus to watch, why would you ever check out this movie? This is the only week for it to make money, for it to have steady legs. It's over.
You know what the sad part is? Like Lionsgate actually thought this was a summer blockbuster movie that everyone was going to see. It's like, yeah, we're comfortable giving this $120 million production budget. We'll make that money back.
They even told you the marketing budget. Most studios never tell you it. It's most between like 50 to 80 million, give or take, how much. They told you the marketing budget. 30 million on where'd that 30 million go to?
And honestly, if they really did only spend 30 million, because honestly, it probably should have been like 120 million on marketing. But if they only really spend 30 million on it, that means the studio literally gave up on it and was like, we're literally going to lose money to market this film that no one's going to watch anyway. So we'll just go ahead and just we release the trailer. That's all the marketing we really need.
It's so bad. I got this over. I'm sorry. No one's watching this after this week. Alien Romulus is going to crush it. And
not this week. No one's watching it now. Like, no one's watching it.
Everyone that watched it now has watched it. It's over. There's no repeat customers. And keep in mind, the movie was also struggling to even sell movie tickets pre-sale. I don't typically buy movie tickets pre-sale. It's not been a thing. That's not a thing I generally do. But the movie was already struggling to sell tickets beforehand. Guys. I don't even and so Lionsgate is going to make a Naruto live action movie. Lionsgate, really?
So here's the latest box office daily. So this is based off of yesterday's numbers, which is Monday, right? The dailies is this: Borderlands finished 6th with $670,000 made yesterday. There's the 6 movies that are above it are Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Despicable Me 4, Twisters, Deadpool, Wolverine, and It Ends With Us. Those are the 6 movies that people are choosing to watch over this one. It's already dead. It's not even making $1 million a day at this point. That's how bad it just released last week.
Oh, keep in mind, for any reactions you guys see online, okay, so generally for studios, if the review embargo comes out the Wednesday and Thursday before a new movie drops, generally means it's not that good. If the review embargo lists beforehand, like about a week prior, that means people are really interested. Keep in mind, Alien Romulus drops within a few days, but the reactions are coming out. It's actually considered pretty solid. This movie's review embargo lifted, I think, on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and the only person that gave it a positive result was Grace Randolph. Right now, I think on Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at like a 9%. People, keep in mind, Grace Randolph, guys, wasn't even confident enough to show her score. Because if you actually make an account on Rotten Tomatoes, you can choose to show your score about what you give a movie. I verified for an audience account, not a critic one. I'm an audience member, so I can give the movie whatever number out of stars. She didn't even put her score down. She said, I liked it. I had fun with it. Okay, if that's true, where's your score? Tell me your score. Give me a rating of it. Nothing. Complete coward. I don't even know if she did like the movie by that logic. What?
She may have given it like a 2 out of 5, and somehow it registers as a positive review because Rotten Tomatoes is rigged. So yeah, just based on that.
Oh shit. Tony, what's up, man? If Kate Blanchett I'm just gonna lie. I think Kate Blanchett is pretty attractive, but Jamie Lee Curtis is just not it anymore.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis hasn't been it since what? True Lies was that 30 years ago? That's
dude, even in Halloween Ends, when they cooked her character for her character, I forget her character's name sometimes. Oh my god, her character in Halloween,
like Laurie or whatever.
Yeah, Laurie. They cucked her character in that final Halloween movie, and I think she just doesn't care anymore. She just doesn't give a fuck. She's out here apologizing for the MCU. Okay, there was an interview she had where it wasn't even that bad. They had asked her a question. How would you I think the question was worded like this: good or bad? How would you rate the current iteration of the MCU? She just said bad. That's it. And then she went on Twitter and she was like, I'll do better and not sling mud at anybody. Lady, you didn't do anything. All you just said was bad. You just said that's it. She just said one word. And then Ryan Reynolds, like he obviously clapped her. He was like, are we supposed to just apologize and pretend that Marvel wasn't bad until this movie came out? It's like,
exactly. It's like now that Deadpool Wolverine is out, everyone's like, oh, the MCU is back. Forget the last 5 years. It's all been amazing. It's all been great. It's like, no, it's been dog shit. Like, you literally, here's the thing, they're trying to make it seem like we're back, we're so saved. It's like, have you looked at all the other stuff you guys got planned out for the last 5 years? Because you don't have another Deadpool Wolverine in the chamber right now. Like, you just brought back Robert Downey Jr. because you don't have another bullet in the chamber. It's like, let's be very clear here. So calm down just a little bit.
Because I want to ask you, what did you think about because you weren't here when we did the trailer reaction. What did you think about this Snow White trailer?
This is something we're going to elaborate on later tonight on the bar room, but I can tell you this right now. This movie is going to be a biblical level disaster because the movie is shite. Like, let's be objective here. The movie is just garbage. Like, they've let you know that it's garbage. When we saw the on-set photo from like a year and a half ago, we knew this film didn't stand a chance. But on top of all that, not only is it going to be a $300-400 million disaster when it's all said and done, the actresses are already going after one another because, you just so happen to cast the lead actress that supports Palestine, and the girl who's playing the evil witch in the movie just so happens to be from Israel. How did you think that this was going to work? Rachel Zegler is literal box office poison. Like, she is the textbook example right now of box office poison, and she is going to torpedo this movie and honestly torpedo her own career in the process. I mean, let's be very, very clear here. Here's a list of all the films that she has been in up to this point, up to this very point. West Side Story, which no one saw. It was a massive box office flop. Like, no one cares about that movie. Shazam 2, which was also another massive box office flop. Good luck with that one.
It's crazy. I actually watched both those in theaters. Yeah, no one was there.
You had what was it? Hunger Games prequel, which I guess made some money back. It wasn't a massive hit, but it didn't go into the red. So I guess there's that, right? And then the only other one that you have outside of that is the Snow White movie that's coming out that they've invested at least $200 to $250 million production wise into this film right now, which means that Disney is going to put like another $200 million into the marketing. This film's probably going to have to make $750 million to break even at this point. And like I said, your stupid, immature, moronic lead of the movie is already beefing with her co-star. When does this film come? This film doesn't come out till March of next year. And they're already beefing over Israel and Palestine. It's like, what are we doing?
She just can't shut her mouth at all.
No. She's like I use this as a meme, but it's like you've literally learned nothing since this whole time.
Even if, because people are going to say, but no one's online looking at that information. Okay, well, let's look at this then. Remember Little Mermaid? Remember that came out last year? That completely bombed in 2023. It only made like $430 million at the box office. People say, oh, it was a massive hit. Guys, you know that flopped completely. No one went to go support that shit. We gotta be completely honest here. No one likes these race swaps like that. Like Snow White is a character where it's literal white skin. She's supposed to be white, and they casted a snow brown chick, snow Puerto Rican. Apparently, she's not Mexican; she's Puerto Rican or whatever. Doesn't matter. People are gonna be like, "That's Snow White." They're gonna be like, "Nah, I'm good." Like, just if we can't even get the race of the character that's supposed to be the main portion of her character down, why are we even doing this? And then remember she had the D23 interview. She was like, "Looks like it'd be a love story." That was weird. And I was like, "What?" She was scared of Snow White as a kid on a ride. It's
we don't like the fact that the woman needed a man to save her. Like, that's the fundamental of the whole damn story. Like, if you weren't gonna don't do the movie. Just don't do it.
She even admitted at the Shazam 2 movie premiere, they asked her, "Why are you in this movie?" She was like, "Oh, I just needed a job." She didn't even want to be there. You just asked me. I want. Okay, I'll be honest. Okay, you're there to get paid, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't instill confidence into the director for getting her. If she was only just there to get paid, that's. Oh my god!
I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like which Jewish producer is responsible for this woman's existence? Like, who did she sleep with to get a gig? Because clearly she didn't get by her acting talent, as I just explained to you. Those are the only handful of films that she's actually done up to this point. She doesn't have a long story history in like television or in music or anything like that. So it's like, where did this plant come from? Where did this plant? Did she come from the casting couch? Did they pull her out of the ether? Is she like the beast from the earth that the Bible does? Well, where did she come from? Because somebody's responsible for this.
And then I'm pretty sure recently you've heard about Warner Brothers. They shut down Cartoon Network's website completely.
Good.
They've been completely losing money for so long. And then they're like, you know what? Maybe we should just kind of split up our divisions now. Why the hell did you merge? Merging was supposed to consolidate everything. Oh,
here's the thing. Warner Brothers has been in debt ever since Ted Turner sold all the property. That's really where we're at now. And what they've been doing, which is what corporations do, they basically just use a merger as a means to someone to buy off their debt and to pass it off as something else, not realizing, okay, great, you still owe $40 billion. Where are you going to get that money from? Because it's not going to be based on anything that you guys produce that you're going to get that money back, and then that debt's not going to go away. So what you gonna do? And they've spent like 2-3 solid years now cutting divisions and firing people, hoping that could somehow solve the problem. You roughly only cut about a fifth of your overall debt, and now you have nothing more left to cut, and you still owe $40 billion. So
you know what's even worse about that? To add on topic to your point, they build that every single thing that you would think they have is worthwhile because of the name value. Guys, it's so bad. They build all the stuff that Warner Brothers is known for as worthless. Cartoon Network, DC, TMNT. You had
TBS. Especially since they just lost the NBA. The NBA.
They just lost the NBA.
So,
because they have a lot of stake in investment in Spectrum, don't they? I think they do.
I think they used to. They may, because I know AT&T did buy it at one point, but I'm not sure if they still have that vested interest or not.
CNN for sure. That's worthless. Yep, that's worthless.
TV. Yeah. So not only that, this is what pisses me off. It's like, not only have you killed your own property that was already garbage
beforehand. They killed all properties.
But not only that, now you guys have killed all the Discovery properties on top of that actually did have profit of value. So now the Discovery Channel is in the water, HDTV, the Food Network, all the good stuff that people actually like because you guys went and consolidated that. Now that's trash too.
Because before, people don't remember, David Zaslav, he actually made Discovery very profitable. It was one of the few profitable TV channels still to this day, despite not being on a. He actually ran Discovery very well, even with the streaming platform.
It was simple. Well. It was like all it is like, hey, we can just do a 30-minute television show of people like building stuff, and we don't have to pay them that much and put it on TV and get huge ratings. It's like that's it. That's all we got to do.
And then, you know what? I'm not trying to knock David Zaslav. I'm trying to knock the guy, but they took a guy that ran the Discovery Channel profitably, you know, successful, and they put him in charge of Warner Brothers, guys. That, like, imagine going from managing Discovery on a TV network and a streaming service, a small one. Discovery Plus only had like 20, maybe like 8 million.
I think it was like
10 million.
It was like, I might be a little bit off. I think it was like 20 somewhere around that time frame. So like somewhere around there.
Because the only thing he's really made worthwhile anything is HBO Max. That's it. And even that's like,
but even then they're still losing. Even then they're kind of losing money like on that too. I mean, you know, it's well run, but I mean, it's still not a money draw. Like let's be honest, none of these streaming services are profitable for anyone. I mean, Netflix was the biggest like deal in the game, and they were still billions of dollars in debt because of the money they had to put into new content. So they never actually like made money, even though they're the biggest one in the game. They still have to essentially sell off and buy up debt in order to keep their thing going. Apple TV, which has the most cash at hand out of any of the major like studios producing content, even they're pulling back on the streaming service.
They just announced that. They just announced last week they're cutting back on spending money on TV for their streaming service.
Disney's telling everyone that they're bleeding money on Disney Plus. So none of these streaming services are actually profitable for anyone. They just did it because they were trying to beat Netflix. I tell you this too. The studios hate Tubi, and here's fundamentally why they hate Tubi. Tubi is nothing more but old movies that have been out for like 30-40 years, and it's the most viewed streaming service out of them all, because compared to what the other streaming services are giving you, it's like, oh, I can watch the recent dog crap movie, like, I don't know, Borderlands, a movie that might be on a Max or Peacock here in the next couple of weeks, is how bad it's doing. It's like, or I could just watch Blue Streak again.
Remember Warner Brothers earlier this year or late last year, back when this Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega Scream situation happened, it was a week after that. Remember what Warner Brothers did, guys? They said every single new DC movie release coming out of a theater or animated or whatever, eventually within about a 6 month to a year time frame, because, you know, rights and everything, you have to sign paperwork and all that shit, it's going to Tubi. All of their big stuff is just gonna go to Tubi. And people go like, but how do you know the streaming services are unprofitable? Easy. Why do you have advertisers then? The point of streaming was to not have commercials. If you're making enough money on your own and you're profitable, why would you need advertisers? It's just that simple. You don't need advertisers if you're just profitable on your own. All these guys have advertisers. And Tubi, like you said before, it's just basically all television with ads, but they just allow people to just kind of like, they're basically what that one network on television where they would get all the newest movies after like a year or two. Oh, what was it called? I think it's called FX. FX would have all the new movies run on their channel after a while. That's what Tubi is essentially. It's just essentially FX with ads for streaming. That's it.
So not only are they getting the good content that people actually like, but now because all the other streaming services are broke and they're out of money, they got to license their projects to Tubi, which is only building up Tubi even more now. So it's like, they're gonna ruin it. Like they're gonna ruin it eventually. Somewhere in the next year, it's gonna be like, oh, Tubi $5.99. It's just like, oh, there you go. There it is.
Warner Brothers sold off Batman to Amazon. You know how valuable Warner Brothers is. David Zaslav said on an earnings call last year that Batman is one of the most valuable assets they have as a franchise in DC, and they sold off Batman to Amazon. Now, keep in mind, he got the bag for that. That was the one good decision that they had. They actually sold off a Batman show to Amazon, got the bag for it, and dipped out of that shit ASAP. Now, I don't know if he knew it was bad or good going in, but at least they got the bag. That's what they need to do. Just sell off your shit and get the bag while you can. Like, what's the point of putting it on your streaming service hoping to make no money? Just blows my mind. just sell it to each other. Like basically, they're just, I was like money laundering, but like they're just playing Russian roulette with each other. They're just selling shit to each other, hoping who's gonna pay the biggest amounts. Like, oh my god, Warner Brothers, what are you doing? I'll keep in mind that legendary $100 million they gave J.J. Abrams to produce DC content for them. That never happened. Remember they gave Clint Eastwood $60 million for that Cry Taco Bird.
They're just hoping Clint Eastwood dies one of these days. So don't have to give him any more money. It's just like, they're trying to hold that dude out. Right
but the reason it blew my mind, man. The reason they were like, he's did so much for the company. He did so much. Just gave him $80 million just for what? I might like him, but I'm not gonna just drop that much racks on him just because I like him.
Too. You're 95 years old and somebody just gave you $80 million. It's like, what are you going to do with that money at that point in your life? It's like,
he basically went and made a pro-propaganda Mexican border movie. Because I saw Cry Macho. It's really all it is. It's basically a story of like, hey, this dad lost his kid, and then he went over there. He fell in love with the Mexican over there. He stayed over there because he likes it better. It's one of the most basic plots ever.
Exactly.
They gave him $80 million to make basically a border hopper movie.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like Adam Sandler. They give him like $20-30 million to make movies for like Netflix, and it's the other dog crap movies they give him every single time. But in reality, when you look at it, it's basically just him and his friends going to vacation in some tropical island while they make some dog crap movie for $40 million. It's like at that level, it's like I can't really hate it. I mean, game the system as much as you can if you know that it's a fraud anyway. But anyway, back to Borderlands.
Yeah,
so let's talk about the movie.
Start that. All right. Let's go. Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a movie review on the new Borderlands movie that has just gotten released in movie theaters worldwide. This movie has been in development hell for quite some time, ever since early 2010, 2014, and the production got fast forwarded around late 2021, early 2022. More casting was announced. They started filming. Then filming was, confirmed to be wrapped up. After that, we got our first trailer, and the trailer was just absolute shite. Most people were just, calling it Guardians of the Galaxy Borderlands or whatever, which I thought was pretty funny. After that, the review embargo lifted, came out to a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Only Grace Randolph said it was good. So you're already raising the eyebrow of like, oh God, if Grace Randolph liked this and no one else did, that's about to be some straight up shite right there. Director Eli Roth was like, hey, I really want to do like a Star Wars and Aliens and all these other movies, but I just kind of put all those concepts in this movie. You're like, oh no. And then the people that made the video games basically went, you know what? Just go to the theaters, turn your brain off, have some fun and enjoy it. You're just like, what? Then,
no, don't turn your brain off. Take your brain out of your skull, lift it up, and punt kick it like it's a field goal try for the 5-yard line. That's the only way you can enjoy this film, because this movie is dark. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here, because before we get into anything about the actual film itself, we got to talk about the casting. This is the most miscast movie I've seen in quite literally the last 5 years. I can't think of a movie that is more like everyone is in the absolute wrong role to be in this movie. Kate Blanchett is playing the main character of Lilith in this film, and she looks like a 50-year-old woman playing at Comic-Con. That's what she looks like in this movie. There's no way around this. Like, this is a role that should be played by somebody at least 20 to 25 years younger than Kate Blanchett. I'm not saying that she can't do it like as an actress, because she is a good actress, but in this specific role, she's not the right role for this. Kevin Hart, as we mentioned earlier, is playing someone who's probably a foot taller than him in reality, and we just have to pretend like he says like this Navy commando guy. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Jack Black in anything is bad. Jack Black adds nothing to movies whatsoever. If he would just retire tomorrow, I don't think anyone would care.
One sec. Let me cut you off. That robot was actually the only entertaining part about the movie. I don't know who the fuck that robot was. That was the only part that was even looking forward to when that little robot was on screen. only character even trying to have some fun. I don't know who was voice acting that robot character, but holy crap, everyone in this movie got out acted by a robot. Terrible.
Jack Black to me has just never been funny, like ever. Like I get it, like in the context of the film, he's the only one that seems to have some semblance of like
He's
a character or a
best to have some
personality.
fun. Yeah.
He's not even actually in the movie. He's just supplying his voice to the film, and that's the worst thing. Like all of you guys are getting out acted by a CGI robot. This is a blue screen robot that no one can actually see. That they probably got like one of those like pizza boxes on like one of those RV like cars like running around here. It's like, no, don't worry, we'll fix it in post. Just pretend like it's a giant robot. You did talk to it, right? And then that's what they did for this film. And everyone else is just getting absolutely out acted, outperformed. Jamie Lee Curtis, why is she in the movie? What name one thing Jamie Lee Curtis added to this entire adventure? Absolutely nothing.
Oh my god!
You have the little Mexican
Tina,
chick. What's her name? Ariana Greenblatt, whatever her name.
I don't know who the fuck that was. Who they casted for that role? That was trash.
She's objectively the worst thing about this movie because she's not even like a good actress.
Not even her. For me, she's second. The worst part of this movie, what does mean just the cast? The guy that they had play the villain Atlas is one of the worst movie villains I have ever seen on screen in the last decade. I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic or just overreact. That character is garbage. Straight
What's his name too? Because he's been in a lot. With Edgar Ramirez, who plays Atlas in the film. He's good in other roles, but it's like, what did he even have to work with in this movie? He's just generic bad guy.
Oh, so bad. Every time he was on screen, it was so beyond cringe. I was like, man, this villain sucks balls. Yeah. Oh god.
So everything about this movie is just rotten to the core. I mean, when Bobby Lee shows up like halfway in the film, I was just like, okay, so what's next? Brendan Schaub gonna show up here next? Like, you might as well just go full clown show. Why not?
Like, what should have. I guarantee you guys, if Michael Morbius popped up in the movie and they started fighting him, Borderlands versus Morbius, make it happen. Or was it Borderlands and the Multiverse of Madness? Just if you want to do more movies like this, Lionsgate, just make them all wacky without any care or any actual love. Oh, wait, that's what this movie was. Keep in mind, this movie, quite literally, it's one of those movies, dude, that people would say, oh, it's so good, it's bad. No. This movie's not even so good it's bad. Because keep in mind, that would still be a bad movie. But at least there'd be some redeeming parts about it. It would entertain you at some points. This movie is it. How would I say this though?
I fell asleep in the second act. Let's be very clear. I literally just fell asleep. And by the time I started to like come to like in the third act, I honestly did not even care that I fell asleep in the movie. I'm just like, okay, let's just wrap this up now because I'm not interested in any of this.
I'll ask you this. Were you looking at your phone to see the time to see if it was over? Because I was looking at my phone constantly, be like, man, is this over yet?
Because this was almost a 2-hour movie. That's why.
This was so painful. The dialogue, just the dialogue alone. We'll start there. The dialogue is so bad. It is trying so hard to be funny. The jokes
what this felt like? This felt like an AI script. Like somebody just like recycled, like, hey, make a Borderlands movie for me, feature-length film, and then they just regurgitated whatever GPT said about it, and then we got this film. And that's literally there's nothing of note about this movie. I mean, they dug up Gina Gershon, which I honestly can't remember the last time I've seen her in like anything that I've ever seen before, but they dug her up and she's like 60 years old. And it's like, oh yeah, let's just pop her boobs up and in this girdle here and have her play Moxie. That would be, I guess, a good way to get the fans in for this one. It's like, no, I don't think so at all. That's a weird, like, why are, look, I know I sound like I'm like going down on like old women right now, but I mean it has for the context of this film. For the context of this film, somebody has to point it out. Why are all the women in this film like senior citizens? Like literally, like you have all the women are like AARP, and then you have like the 13-year-old girl who's like the worst actress in this entire movie. It's like, what did you? If I could talk to a studio executive at Lionsgate, it was like, what did you think people were going to like about this movie?
And the other thing outside of the dialogue, it's so bad. None of the actual cast has any synergy. There's no chemistry amongst any of these guys. Not a single one. The only chemistry that they tried to force was that one guy that looks like a complete butcher to that one tiny Tina girl. And even that was forced. That wasn't even natural. All the forced synergy chemistry was awful. None of these guys work together very well. When you're looking at this cast, you're just like, okay, they just casted actors to just play roles. None of these guys have actually any synergy with each other at all. All of it was just so beyond force. And the other thing I wanted to tackle on was the pacing. This movie is like The Flash and Sonic if they did a Dragon Ball Z fusion dance and they merged into one character that could run so fast. The plot is just moving so fast. There's no time to marinate. There's no time to just breathe.
What's the plot of this movie?
Just the pacing. The pacing is so fast. I couldn't even one scene, another one. It's like, bro, can we get some time to rest? There's no time to rest when you're watching this. It just goes so fast.
The movie starts off with the stupid girl and Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart's like saving her for some kind of like futuristic prison. And then the movie just cuts all the way to like Kate Blanchett's character, and then it forgets the two characters that we just introduced them to. We don't see them again until like another 30 minutes into the movie after that. So it's almost like their introduction meant absolutely like nothing. So we'll get back to them later.
Yeah, keep it on. All that so fast. I shit you not. If you go and actually watch this because you just hate your life and maybe your wife forced you to watch this, this movie's pacing is so fast. There is no time to breathe in any of these scenes. I was sitting there going like, damn, I don't even know if I even like Kevin Hart's character or this little girl's character. I don't even know. Oh, wait a minute. Now we have Kate Blanchett. It's like, why should I like her? I mean, though she's clearly a bounty hunter. Am I supposed to like women that do that? Am I supposed to like that? Like, I don't know if I like
You're not Faye Valentine. This is not going to work out for you. So I don't know what you expect here out of this movie.
Then later on in the movie, Jamie Lee Curtis is here. She's basically like if Nicolas Cage from what's the movie he had? Treasure Hunt, National Treasure. It'd be like if she was the lead of that with less of the charisma, less of the enthusiasm. I really don't know why she's here, because later on in the movie, it's revealed that Kate Blanchett's character Lilith can just find these crystals on her own. Why was she here? Why is Jamie Lee Curtis here? Her character is useless. She provides nothing in the movie. Absolutely 100% nothing. There is absolutely no reason why. Even you said earlier, Kevin Hart. Why is Kevin Hart here? What purpose is Kevin Hart's character? He's just here to be that fast, quip talking black dude that has to be in every movie now. What is Kevin Hart doing here? Outside of I get it. Him and Jamie Lee Curtis got paid. Congrats. I always say, hey, get the bag. They're offering you the bag. Get the bag while you can.
Kevin Hart in this movie is like a generic 1980s hero. It's like his name might as well have just been John Fist. Like that's how generic his character is in this entire movie. It's like what is the fundamental purpose of him being in this film?
Because they try to lock you up with the thing of like, oh, he was defected from Atlas and then he went to save her. And it's like, no, he only saved her because he was trying to get inside this vault that he never even cared to enter later in the movie. What is this movie supposed to be? This is garbage, people. I'm sorry. This is one of the worst movies I've watched in a long time. None of the plot really makes any sense. The plot is invalidated with Jamie Lee, with Lilith's character when it's revealed what she is later on. Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't need to be here. I don't know why they have this butcher guy to be the muscle. He's worthless throughout the entire movie. He has barely any dialogue at all.
Because he's the only thing that reminds people, oh yeah, this is a Borderlands movie. Because here's the thing, this is a fundamental problem. This is all based on a video game that was popular like in the early 2010s, and we waited so long.
PS3 era, yeah,
and we waited so long to make this movie. Like nobody in the writing room or in the executive board thought to themselves like, "Hey, it's been like 14 years since we've tried to make this movie of this game. Like, has anyone ever thought that maybe like this game isn't going to be as popular by the time it actually comes out with audiences because they may have moved on to something else? Has anyone ever thought is that like as a possibility? It's like trying to make a Streets of Rage game based on the old Sega Genesis series, but the game doesn't come out till the movie doesn't come out till like 2009. It's like after a while, it's not going to be as hot as it was when we started this venture, and nobody cared to think about that. I mean, maybe we should just give up on this whole thing because it's not going to cut out.
There was a thing that I had said to you on your show, and I did it on when I did a Trap open spoiler discussion. This is a movie like with Trap that would greatly benefit if they're rated R. Keep in mind, Borderlands is rated M for mature, so in movie terms, that'd be rated R. Why is a movie like this PG-13? It does nothing for it. Actually, it hinders it completely because given how serious the material is in this movie, when it tries to be serious, it being PG-13 ruins it entirely. Okay, I don't understand why this movie or Trap is PG-13. I'm not saying that automatically it being rated R would make it way better, but it would definitely help it in, like, I guess the gory and actually going into more like, you know, the more rated R terms of what the movie could be in. Because that one character, that one little girl, Tiny Tina, she's like, well, this guy did all these things to me and I was a clone. And it's like, we get no flashbacks of how this happened. We get no reason why he even did that in general. So here's how bad this movie's plot is. Okay, long story short, basically, everyone in this movie is trying to get inside this vault. How do you get inside this vault? You need 3 keys, okay? So one of the keys is already found. We don't even know how it was found. It just is. The second key is when they meet Jamie Lee Curtis's character. And what's that third key? Oh, the third key is not Tiny Tina, as they tried to tell you throughout the entire movie.
Swerve! Well, what is Vince Russo writing in this movie?
And that Shyamalan plot twist. Guess who the third key is? It's actually Cate Blanchett's character. So come to find out, because throughout the movie, they try to force this emotion of her and her mother. Her mother gave her up when she was like 8 years old to Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
Oh, boo-hoo.
And Jamie Lee Curtis's character didn't really know how to take care of her because she was all based on trying to get into this vault. And then after that, come to find out, Cate Blanchett's character, Lilith, is the third key. Because women secret power to everything. No, I'm not kidding. She's the third key. She opens the vault because there's a part where the villain gets the upper hand on them because, you know, obvious reasons. And she gets this like Phoenix power.
She's the Phoenix.
And then
just like in that old TV show Monster Rancher. You guys remember Monster Rancher? She's the Phoenix, guys.
I'm not kidding. That's the plot of the movie. Basically, the mom somehow knew her daughter was the key and then hoped eventually she would just get into that vault. What? That makes no sense. And then Jamie Lee Curtis's character, she's like, oh, that's the reason why your mom gave you to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it all makes
shit.
Sense now. It all makes sense. This is the reason why everything is happening. Are you following, audience? Wake up.
Wait, hold on. That means Jamie Lee Curtis's character figured out, wait a minute. So holy fuck. That means her character gave up a kid that her friend entrusted her to. And later on, Lilith becomes a bounty hunter because she's got no one to take care of her. So she has to live on this fucking godforsaken planet. And then later on, Jamie Lee Curtis was like, yeah, oh, that's the reason why your mom gave you to me. You were the key.
You know what this is?
Please,
you know this is?
Mercy on my soul.
Cate Blanchett is Borderlands Jesus. She was the chosen one the whole time.
She was the chosen one, guys. It's always the what's the thing Nerd Roddick says? It's the women the women were literally the key to everything in this movie. Absolutely the key to everything. That's it. The only part that I liked in the movie, there was only one part that I liked, was the part where they were mowing down those big like serial killer dudes. I thought that was like some pretty cool action here and there when they were in that like that tunnel when they had to fight through all those big guys. That would be like my only, you know, good part I liked about the movie. Other than that, you know, the dialogue was really, really bad. The chemistry amongst the cast was really bad. The plot was not only just generic, it literally, as the movie unfolds, makes no sense. And then it just basically invalidates itself. And that's the reason why so many movies are bad now. The plot, literally, as it advances in most movies now, invalidates themselves. Why do so many movies have this problem? Thor: Love and Thunder had this problem. The Flash had this problem. Every movie, the more is revealed with some of these newer movies that come out, the more, I shit you not, the more that it's revealed, it makes it even worse. And it's like, why were we even here to begin with? The villain character, Atlas, does nothing throughout the entire movie. And it's supposed to be this like ominous figure that you're supposed to be scared of, even though you barely ever see this guy, notice this guy. And when he gets to the battlefield, he doesn't really do anything at all. And then he goes into this vault and then gets tricked by this little girl. That's the guy I'm supposed to be scared of. He got tricked by this 11-year-old girl.
That's really where it is, right?
Like, what the fuck are we watching?
Dude, by the way, there were literally film critics that were saying that, you know what, after watching this movie, I have to apologize to Uwe Boll. That's how bad this film is. Thanks, Lionsgate.
Thanks. This is certainly one of the movies ever made. Director directed, actors acted, music played, and that's it. Yeah, thanks, movie.
This film at its core is the textbook example of a soulless Hollywood studio movie. A bunch of suits got in the room and they were like, hey, this is a popular video game franchise. Let's make a movie about it. Have any of you guys played the game? No. Do you have kids who played the game? No. So we'll just do our own little thing. We'll hire a bunch of A-listers here and then we'll make money, I'm sure. Kate Blanchett even said herself the only reason why she did this movie, because here's another thing, just in case you guys didn't realize, this film was actually shot 3 years ago. This wasn't even a recent shooting. So what happened was that they shot this film in 2021, right after lockdown started to get lifted. Kate Blanchett admitted that the only reason why she did this film is because she didn't want to spend time with her husband at home because he was driving her crazy. So she decided to do this movie to get out of the house. That was the motivation for this movie. And here we are.
Yeah, and also as another decent point for the movie, outside of that one long action scene that I like that they did, she's the only character that's even acting or even trying to act in the movie, you know? Like, outside of Jack Black, because you said Jack Black voices the robot, outside of the robot and her, no one else in this movie is really trying at all. Like, guys, they have a part of the movie where the robot is shitting bullets, literally shitting bullets.
And that's that scene that you just talked about there. That's one of those please clap scenes. Like it's one of the things that I can see the studio suits in their mind where they're watching the dailies. Like, oh, the audience is gonna love this. They're gonna be cackling and howling and because the robot is pooping bullets. Isn't that funny, guys? It's like no, it's not.
Oh God. I hope this. I mean, this movie
somebody should have been watching the dailies of that scene and thinking to myself, "Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. I'm not going to be able to afford my kids' Christmas when I like this over." Somebody should have been contemplating jumping out of the building at that very moment.
Someone on set should have just been like, "Hey, can these big serial killer guys maul me to death?" That's the only way to get out of this movie. Having those serial killer guys maul them.
Somebody should have tried to dolphin dive out of a window like in Modern Warfare.
This movie is so trash, guys. And I know there's people online going it's not really that bad. Guys, the story invalidates itself by what it's trying to set up. It's terrible. Throughout the whole movie, I shit you not, this little girl's like, my almost dead dad treated me very bad. I'm the key. Oh, now we're gonna fake some emotion here because if she's the key, she might die to open this vault. Kind of find out she's not the key, so all that's forced emotion that doesn't pay off because I don't even like this character. Only for Kate Blanchett's character to be the key, and then she doesn't die. The reason why they defected from each other was because they thought killing the little girl was wrong, and then she's the key. She doesn't die. What the fuck was that even for? That was just such forced emotion. Worthless. What is that?
Here's.
Oh my God.
What's wrong here? Here's the thing, just real quick.
Yeah.
To this recent trend of morons online, every time there's a movie gets absolutely lambasted, right? Everyone's like, oh, this movie sucks. Everyone hates it. About a year passes by, and then everyone on Twitter, for some reason, attempts to gaslight people into thinking, oh, see, this movie wasn't nearly as bad as you guys said it was. We did this with Morbius. We've done this with Madam Web. We've done this with the Marvel. Now there's people on Twitter right now talking, oh, the Marvel was actually a good movie. Maybe you guys just hate women. It's like they still make you, they're still making that model of you, that person. Who are we talking about? There's no need to try to gaslight anyone into believing in 6 or 7 months that somehow this movie was good and people just too hard on it. This movie is a cinematic waste of time. The casting, the boring story, it's forgivable. Do you even remember anything about the story before you prepared for this show right here about what the plot was or any kind of details? There was nothing here. At some point, you have to remind yourself that what's his name, Edgar, Edgar, the dude, the villain guy from this movie. What's his name?
Oh, fuck.
I just had his name there. Edgar, whatever his name.
The guy who plays Atlas, yeah.
Yeah, you had to remind yourself that he was somehow the villain of the film because he disappeared for such a great period of time that people was like, oh yeah, he is still in this movie. Oops. There's absolutely nothing redeemable about this film whatsoever. This is getting a solid 0 out of 10 for me. 0 out of 10, 0 out of 5. I don't care what scale you want to go off of. This is a big fat goose egg of a movie.
Yeah, and as you guys know, since we're starting to do movie reviews now and people might not be too familiar with me, I used to give out ratings a long time ago. I don't do that anymore. I'll just basically tell you if it's good, bad, average, okay, awesome, whatever. This is just straight up awful. Not bad. Not any of that. Awful. If you're asking me, for any time I watch movies, I told him on his show, says on my show, go and watch movies for yourself. Think for yourself. Make your own mind. But if you're asking me personally, my own opinion, no, don't watch this. Go watch Deadpool Wolverine. Go watch Despicable Me 4. Go watch the new Blake Lively movie. If you got a girlfriend, maybe she might blow you in the theater when you're watching that. Alien Romulus is dropping. That'll for sure get you to go to the theater.
No one's getting sex while watching Borderlands. So let's be honest. I mean, unless you guys just need an empty room so that you can get some privacy and you go to a Borderlands screening, that would be the only advantage to going to go see this movie. That's it.
This movie's awful. And you know who developed it? Avi Arad.
Oh, yay.
Oh, dummy. Yay. Oh, God.
Dummy, yeah.
Avi Arad produced this steaming pile of shit. And this movie and Trap really do signify why people do not want to go to the theaters. Why would you want to go to theaters and pay for something like this? Your hard-earned money that you guys work for every day, sometimes 50 hours a week. And you want to go out to theaters, you want to have some fun with your family, you want to just chill, and you want to spend the money.
You know what this movie is? This is the cinema equivalent of like having like one of those like hype men that you pay like $10 an hour to hype up your movie. And essentially what this film is trying to do is like, hey, all you guys out there that are watching Deadpool Wolverine, when you're done with your superhero movie, why don't you come down and watch Borderlands? And then everyone's just like looking at them like they're speaking Chinese and then just walking them the other way because they're weird. Like that's essentially what it is with these people. It's like this was your essentially attempt at a summer box office smash hit, and you guys got absolutely curve stomped by a terrible romantic drama movie by Blake Lively,
who hasn't acted in any blockbuster tentpole in a while.
No, that Blake Lively movie. That Blake Lively movie has made $80 million already.
And you know what this one's made at the time I was doing this movie review of Borderlands? 17 million.
Yep, 17 million. So you guys got quadrupled by a romantic movie that literally no one had heard of up until like a week ago. That's a cinematic equivalent of getting dunked on, like nuts right in your face, dunked on.
Dude, it's actually insane. The fact that people are still not going to bring up this other last point that I'll bring up is. Like, you saw that. Did you see that clip that I put in the group chat with Eli Roth talking about the movie? This is the reason why movies like this do not work. People like that get hired and they don't care about the property. They're basically just using this as like a stepping stone to get to a bigger property. He even said Star Wars, Aliens, or whatever. And then this one is kind of like, whatever. He said he even asked the creators, the movies are the movies, the games are the games. I don't care if the creator said that. That is one of the dumbest pieces of logic ever. If the movie is the movie and the games are the games, why would I go watch the movie then? If the movie is literally the inferior product that doesn't even match the games, why would I go watch the movie? Because the point of the movie was to show casuals, hey, these are the characters, this is the universe, this is what you should get invested in, and you can play more of it at home on the games. And the other thing to bring up with this movie is this movie could have made more people like myself. I told people this before, I was open with this. I never played any of the games. I don't know the storyline of the games at all. I knew it was popular. That's it. I just knew it was popular. That was it. This could have literally gotten more people to play the games, put a huge surge in the game's popularity, and then potentially if it made a lot of money and profit at the box office, you could have gotten more movies. But now you don't get that. And Lionsgate wants to fucking sit here and do movie properties based off of, popular properties like this. And it's just like, damn, why? Like, you could literally get your own mini popular franchises out of this, but Lionsgate refuses. Like, what is Lionsgate? I mean, Lionsgate has had some massive L's recently with a lot of big franchises. Remember, you had the Expendables 4 that dropped, that failed. They sold off Knives Out to Netflix for like $400 million. They don't have that anymore for themselves. The Hunger Games franchise, that's pretty much fizzled out. They have Saw, I think. That's not been that good for them recently. Twilight. Well, they had John Wick. They had John Wick 4. I've heard that did pretty well for them, but that's pretty much it. Like, what do they really have anymore?
Lionsgate is a very hit or miss studio. So it's hard to get like, any like real consistent. Like they'll have like big name like films like John Wick and stuff like that. Then they'll have like other dog crap like the Divergent series or like the Hitman's Bodyguards. Like I said, it's a very hit or miss studio. If I'm not mistaken, they were also the ones responsible for that Hunger Games prequel that came out.
Yeah.
Like,
they own the Hunger Games franchise. Yep.
Who asked for that? Like who wanted this film? Like if I'm looking at the movies that they released so far this year, Ordinary Angels was an all right film. I mean, that's about as much I can say about that. You had that terrible Henry Cavill movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, that flopped hard, right? The Strangers remake, like who asked for that
flopped
movie?
Really bad.
Latency, like so like I said, there's no consistency because they'll have like dog crap movies like that, but then at the same time they'll like have like some somewhat decent movies like A Boy Kills World or like A Kill or something like that. So like I said, it's a lot like A24. I would say that the hit percentage is probably better with Lionsgate, but like A24, it's like they'll have 5 movies that are just the worst pieces of crap you've ever seen in your entire life, and then they'll have like one movie that's like the best movie of the year. It makes no sense, the consistency of that studio.
The Take-Two CEO, he had put out an interview with IGN. You know how that's going to go. About some shilling their day over there at IGN. Take-Two CEO asked audience to give Borderlands a chance. He says, and I quote, the underlying... no. First of all, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve a chance.
I'm going to deny you, like a guy with a 500 credit score trying to take out a loan. No.
He says, and I quote, the underlying intellectual property is phenomenal. Yeah, the video games I imagine are great. Yeah. Why would I still play those then? Why would I watch this?
Like I literally told people in my review for Bounding, it's like, you know what? You're honestly just better off dusting off your old Xbox or PS3 and just playing the old game for a couple hours rather than watching this movie.
He said the cast is amazing. That we know is a damn lie.
Amazing.
Oh God. I think the look and feel is really terrific. Okay, they're bought and paid for. They got paid to say that shit. No way they don't believe that. Oh, and the last thing to bring up in this review of Borderlands is this movie proves right here and there the draw of the movie star is over unless it is someone specifically specific. Like how we just had with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman for Deadpool and Wolverine. Unless it's someone like those guys.
And even then, like I said, the only draw is Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool and Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
Yeah.
So really, even in that context, the draw is the characters, not particularly the actors.
Right. Because at this point now, like this movie's cast is technically stacked. If you looked at it from just like the names on paper, doesn't mean anything anymore. Names on paper do not mean anything. Because I give you another example. There was that movie in 2021 that came out with Christian Bale and what's her name? She was Barbie. I forgot her name. Margot Robbie and a huge cast of people flopped completely. Absolutely 100% failed. Like the age of the movie star is over. You could put a cast of Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Edgar Ramirez, Ariana Greenblatt, Florian Montiel, Gina Gershon, and Jamie Lee Curtis, and no one goes to see it. Absolutely no one goes to see it at all. The age of the movie star is completely over. It's done. Actually, nothing's a draw like that anymore. The only way to get people in is if you basically,
well, like I said, and that's really it's all Hollywood's own fault. Like they've created the situation where we're at now because it's like, your Hollywood movie stars now are aggressively unlikable to the point where no one really likes them as stars anymore. Perfect examples are good buddy Rachel Zegler, who has been in nothing good whatsoever, and she's already torpedoing a movie that won't be out for another 7 months because she has to let the world know, I support Palestine, even if my co-star's from Israel. Fuck her, because I'm a good person. And it's like, okay, good luck with that. Well, let's see how that works out for you. It's like a bold strategy, Cotton.
Oh, God. Well,
actors are not smart people. That's a takeaway from the show.
And then now, ever since interviews started coming out about these actors when they do the media interviews for their movies, it makes it even worse. But yes, as we wrap up this video portion of the show, make sure you guys go and check out Society Reviews' YouTube channel. I'm going to leave it and Twitter account. I'm going to leave both of them linked in the description box below. Any closing thoughts on the movie, actually?
Literally watch anything else. Go watch a Guy Fieri cooking show because you'll have more fun watching that than anything that's in this film.
You can go watch like Big Black BBC Shemale
film.
That'd probably be more entertaining than this.
You can go watch British people bake a cake for an hour and you'll find more entertainment in that than anything that's in this movie. So yeah, go do that instead.
As you guys know, my closing thoughts about this movie. This is certainly one of, if not the most movies ever made. This movie is just a steaming.
It's in my top 10 worst at the moment. I have it ranked at 8 at the moment. A solid 8.
7 more worst movies than this. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, so just a quick little preview for you guys here. Here's 7 movies that I find worse than Borderlands, which means that these movies are actually really, really bad. Monkey Man, Challengers, that Zendaya movie, The Book of Clarence, The American Society of Magical Negroes, Drive Away Dolls, Babes, which is that one chick from Broad City who's never funny in anything ever, and then a movie with Justice Smith called I Saw the TV Glow, which I don't even technically qualify as a film because that's how bad that movie is. So those are the 7 movies I should say that I have worse than Borderlands, but Borderlands is still a solid top 10 worst pick.
Oh, and just for the last thing I'll say about Lionsgate, their last highest grossing film worldwide was The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and that took in $865 million worldwide. They haven't had a high grossing movie. The last highest grossing film was John Wick 4, which came out last year, and that only took in like $440 million, actually. Yep. You know, they haven't had a hit in a long time. So, yeah, movies, if you want to make money on popular adaptation, popular video games or animes, whatever, actually make a good product and hire people to make the product good. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you're a returning viewer or new viewer, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. Signing out, guys. Peace.
Deuces.
Oh, well, that movie's bad. Whew. Look, Netflix gave them $400 million for Knives Out. $400 million.
For that one and the second one.
And they have a streaming service too. They have that Stars app. Like, do you know anyone that has that Lionsgate streaming service, Stars or whatever it's called?
I mean, Stars was like a premium channel like 20 years ago until people realized that no one pays for like HBO and Cinemax anymore because we're all poor.
Yeah, we all just
really trying to live.
We all just get things off torrents. We watch them.
I mean, like there hasn't been anything good on HBO since when The Sopranos went off the air. It's like what's the draw for that anymore?
Oh my god! Like streaming, like even Lionsgate because they acquired Stars. That's fucking failing. Like yeah, they really gotta pick it up here. Honestly, saying streaming services. Television. What the hell? Oh my god. Fucking hell. What are you doing for Bounding recently? What's the next movie you gotta watch? I'm pretty sure it's
know whether it's still live, right?
Oh yeah.
No, Bounding, I got a few reviews coming up that I gotta correct with Spencer, and then Aliens will be coming out this week. So that's kind of what I'm working on there.
I thought you guys were going out of business, actually. Heard you guys gone woke and gone
Yeah,
broke.
you know, apparently everyone told us like a year ago that we'd be done in like 6 months, and then somehow we actually outlasted the entities that they created in order to go to war with us. It's weird how that happened, right? It's just so weird how that happened. It's like you literally created your own site to go to war with us, and then you ended up behind a paywall 3 months after you said that we were going to die. So it's just like, it's just crazy how life works, you know?
I'm just pointing out right now that YouTube Premium has 100 million subscribers. Paramount Plus is 71 million. Apple TV has 50 million. Stars Lionsgate Plus, which is the Stars, has 27.92 million subs. What else is on here? Some trash.
And they're all still losing money. That's the crazy part. Like they're all still losing like ducats.
Because remember, they had that earnings call for Max. All the stuff isn't looking good. This whole streaming was the future. It was such a lie. People knew it wasn't gonna fucking be worth anything. Like people try to make it the grass is greener so hard. Like streaming is the future. You're gonna want to stay at home. It's like people naturally want to go outside. That's a human thing, actually. Last week comments.
You don't need human interaction. You got Netflix. Netflix can be your boyfriend now.
Oh, also keep in mind, There was a tagline for DoorDash that literally said, "Going outside, it's overrated."
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Yeah. Last few comments.
Just watch Netflix and have food delivered to you until you die. That's the Himmick experience. You'll own nothing and you'll love it.
Michael said, "Wow, people actually watch this movie." Yeah, and we're some of the people of all time. I didn't know this movie was a thing until all the outrage came about it. Yep, that's how much rich people didn't even know it existed. They're like, "Why are people so mad?" Oh, wait, Kate Blanchett is hot, and that's it. They try to show Jamie Lee Curtis's tits. It was like, bro, make it rated R if you're gonna do that. Nope.
Please stop. Like I said, no one has wanted to see those since True Lies. Let's just stop now. She's never going to be the hot grandma. It's not going to work.
She's going to be in Freaky Friday too.
I mean, have you seen Lindsay Lohan? I mean, Lindsay Lohan is like that drugs, those cocaine and partying caught up to her real quick. Like, let me put it to you this way. All of like the Nickelodeon and Disney Channel stars that we grew up with like 20 years ago, they're all train wrecks, like every single one of them. Like Lindsay Lohan was kind of like the textbook example of a train wreck for a while, but man, people like Britney Spears and Demi Lovato and Miley Cyrus and all these other train wrecks have just come and taken her to the point now where you look back at that Lindsay Lohan, it was like, she probably still had it more together than a lot of these chicks by comparison. I mean, okay, so she got high on cocaine a few times in LA, nightclubs, and then had a meltdown in Russia trying to convert to Islam. But outside of that, I mean, at least she wasn't talking to ghosts and writing songs for them.
God, man, this is so bad.
I mean, have you seen Amanda Bynes? Did you see that whole?
Yeah, I saw it. She going by a different name now. I remember she collapsed randomly, went to an insane asylum, and now she's coming out a different person.
I mean, there was a while there where it looked like maybe she was like starting to come on the other end, and then the next thing you heard it was like, "Oh, Amanda Bynes is found in the streets of LA naked, going crazy," and it's just like, "Oh boy." And this is the thing with Hollywood too. It is really just sad. It's like, no one even wants to ask the question, okay, what did you do to this woman? Because she didn't just up and go crazy one day for reasons completely unexplained to anyone else. It's like, you guys did something to this poor girl, and no one wants to talk about the elephant in the room. So we're just going to be like, yeah, how did this, pretty popular teen star from the 2000s, the 90s and the 2000s end up naked over on Sunset Boulevard at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and now she's in an insane asylum? Like, what happened there?
But remember,
maybe
I forgot the guy who was taking all that heat for the Nickelodeon stars. He said he didn't
Dan
do
Snyder.
Wrong. Yeah, he said he didn't do anything wrong though. We're supposed to just believe him, believe all men.
Uwe boy.
I didn't know I accidentally hired a pedophile. I was like, don't you have to do background checks? How would you not know?
No, not that he didn't know he accidentally hired a pedophile. He didn't know he hired several pedophiles. Like hiring one pedophile, you can mark off as an oopsie. Hiring several, you would have to ask.
And that marking off the one is an oopsie because do they not do background checks? If you don't do background checks to these people, that's already a huge red flag.
Yeah,
that's literally
put it to you this way
legally.
Nobody accidentally hires 5 people who have committed armed robbery. That's not something that you accidentally do.
Yeah, I just hired like 5 people that committed like fucking arsenal felony. Holy
exactly.
shit!
I didn't know that they had records and warrants. Like I didn't know. Oops. I'll try better next time.
I'll do better at not hiring actual felons. I'll do better. Just do the whole Captain America thing. Do better. Oh well. I know you got to get out of here for your show. Anything else you want to say before we head out, actually?
Not really. Barroom Podcast will start 1 hour at 9 p.m. over on my side. We'll be talking about the Jenna Ortega story, her being a massive hypocrite. Rachel Zegler will talk about Kamala Harris faking her campaign videos and photos with AI. Then we'll talk about Joaquin Phoenix backing out of an NC-17 gay film literally 6 days before they were supposed to shoot. Now everyone's out of a job, and the LGBTQ is like really pissed off. It's like, no, you go back there, you make that gay film. You do those butt sex scenes.
Come on, these are the people that online weren't even gonna go watch the movie. The movie was gonna bomb no matter what it was. None of them were gonna go watch.
It was an NC-17 gay movie. Who the hell was gonna go watch that trash?
Like Bros came out. Remember, Bros came out, flopped, made like 5 million. People were like, the main star was like, "You're homophobic if you don't go watch this." It's like, why would I, as a straight person, why the fuck would I watch a gay rom-com? Out of all the rom-coms I could watch,
I want to go watch a movie where a bunch of 40-year-old Jewish men in New York have sex with one another for 2 hours. because I'm an ally. Say okay.
Oh, well, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Iron Man Podcast. As you guys know, the Cloud9 Podcast episodes are going to Rumble. I finished season 2 last night. I'm going to upload season 3. New episodes of this show and the Cloud9 Podcast are going to be on the podcasting platforms. If you can't watch live, you can watch, from your phone or consume it on any of the podcasting platforms that you guys watch your podcast at. And then new content as pre-recorded videos will be dropping, as you guys know, because I drop content pretty consistently. So thank you guys for checking out this episode.